How far will they get before they notice? 20 feet a block at most. Deep down, this felt like a mistake. He was about to heed his intuition when Jessamine made the one argument he couldn't refute. Come on, it'll be funny. She leaned over and reached down, pressing a thick steel button while tugging at the single round peg set into the single round hole until it finally jolted free with an odd uncorking sound, and what happened at first was nothing. Timothy and Jessamine did not have to wait long for their parents to notice that something was amiss. At first, a quizzical expression crossed Tom Murphy's face, as if he was confronted with a "what is wrong with this picture" puzzle. Then enlightenment came. It took less than a second for him to thrust the bag with egg creams into Miranda's hands and break into a run. At the excavation at the end of the block, the construction workers saw the danger and leapt out of the path of the speeding sailboat, which snapped the chains surrounding the area and crushed the traffic cones until the cradle slammed into one corner of the concrete pylons protecting the site. The steel folded in upon itself like an accordion as the boat plowed relentlessly toward the wall at the end of the tunnel. Timothy and Jessamine braced themselves for impact, but the wall had been shaved to the width of a single brick by the city workers, and the extra-large rammed straight on through. Just before everything went dark, Timothy caught a glimpse of Jessamine's face, eyes wide, mouth open. Was she crying? A screaming filled his ears. It was his own. They weren't flying underground. They were falling, until they all came to a splash landing. The fall seemed endless, but it probably wasn't more than another 10 feet. Yet Timothy and Jessamine collapsed into the wreckage until gouts of water from somewhere below rose up and rained back down upon their heads. I don't think we're in Manhattan anymore. No, we're under Manhattan. It was a dream. Literally, about 2.5 years ago or so, I woke up one morning having dreamed this entire book. It was a particularly strange dream because even though lots happens, it was actually sort of the dullest dream in the world because literally I only dreamed myself writing this book. So I thought that was weird and tried to ignore it. I couldn't get it out of my head. So I decided to write a first chapter and exercise it. The chapter would suck, I'd be done with it. And you clearly know the end of the story because a year later I'd written the entire book.
Very glad that no person from Porlock came and woke you up in the middle of your dreams. So we got the
reference and my students here is to Coleridge. Kubla Khan, a stately pleasure dome did build. Right, he had dreamt the entire thing and he was writing it, and then there was a knock on the door from the man from Porlock. No one knows who that was, but it just totally broke his train of thought, and he never wrote the rest of the book.
Probably a bill collector, though. Right?
Probably. Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe it was just Wordsworth who was jealous.
Right.